So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Shanghai Noon 2000. Getting 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was alright. Lucy Liu, as usual, is the reason to watch. Even when her hair is messy, she looks hot. Too bad she doesn't get naked in this one, but it's a PG-13 lamestream movie. Although 2 years later, she was in the infamous Ballistic X versus Sever, which I thought was a decent movie. One of those so bad that it's good type movies. I was reading up some trivia on Ballistic X versus Sever. With a total of 118 reviews, the most for a film with a 0% approval rating, Ballistic X versus Sever is the worst reviewed film in the history of Rotten Tomatoes. That's one little tidbit I found. Oh, and Lucy Liu was nominated for the 2002 Stinkers Bad Movie Awards Worst Actress Award, but lost to Madonna for her performance in Swept Away. We were just talking about that, Adrian. Madonna in Swept Away. That must be horrible. An old-looking Madonna in a terrible remake of a pretty bad movie in the first place. But ultimately a movie that has good cinematography, at least, going for it. And some decent little some decent little bit of nudity for that's worse. I think, now that I come to think of it, and I saw Adrian's comments, I think he did recommend Swept Away, the original movie, to me a few years back. I don't think it was yet Audra Hando. I stand corrected. He likes the Macho Man character in the movie. I think the guy's communist turd, but that just shows you how much I hate communism. So getting back to Shanghai Noon, okay, there are a lot of good fight scenes, and the ending was pretty decent. And it's got Lucy Liu, who looks mighty fine, even with messy hair. I saw Jackie Chan piling on top of Lucy Liu, and even in the rolling credits, like the outtakes, the deleted scenes, the what do I want to say? Well, you know how on Jackie Chan movies they always show the bloopers. That's what I want to say. And I just wish I could have been Jackie Chan that day on the set when he was piling on Lucy Liu, essentially dry humping her, and he really gets into it right before the rolling credits. He's like, "Oh, princess," and he's like sticking his face in her face, like, "Princess." He's like the Gollum or something on her. Can you even get away with something like that nowadays? The Me Too movement would probably speak out against it. But he's Jackie Chan, so he can get away with anything in the year 2000, including getting all up into Lucy Liu's face. They even kiss at one point and hold hands. Dang, I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have been Jackie Chan for a day. The day that I got to kiss, hold hands, and dry hump on Lucy Liu. Anyways, um, it's supposed to be a Western, and I told my son, why would a Chinese dude say sayonara? Japanese word. You see that in the movie. I think this movie appeals to white people because it's got ZZ Top, Aerosmith, and Kid Rock. How white is that? I mean, that's really appealing to a white audience. I remember when the rebooted Aerosmith album came out in the early '90s. My cousin forced us to listen to it over and over again. And there's another interesting white woman, Brandon Merrill. Never heard of her. She plays Jackie Chan's wife. What happened in the second movie? Did they get a divorce? And why wasn't she in the second movie? Because she had the hots for Owen Wilson. She played the switcheroo on Jackie Chan. But I would have preferred, if I was Jackie Chan, I would have preferred Lucy Liu. Anyways, she's 100 times hotter than Brandon Merrill. But it starts out with Jackie Chan being part of the Imperial Guard in China during the 19th century, I guess. And it's also got Rongguang Yu from Karate Kid remake and a couple others, Jackie Chan movies. He's in a lot of them. He's in a few, anyway. There's even a character named Van Cleef. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention that Garbage Can Film Man mentioned in his review of Chopping Mall is that the name of the sporting goods store in the mall was Peck and Paw Sporting Goods, which is an obvious shout out to Sam Peckinpah, the great cult movie director. I forgot to mention that on my last video. But anyways, Jackie Chan is in the Imperial Guard. He sees the princess being escorted off to the U.S. She doesn't want to marry some. She doesn't want to get into some arranged marriage with the Chinese dude who looks like a toad in the bonus features. She doesn't want him. She wants Jackie Chan, the Imperial Guard. So Jackie Chan watches her being shuffled off to Nevada, and then she gets kidnapped by some traitor guy who left the Imperial Guard. He's got some mean fighting skills, this traitor guy. And so he captures Lucy Liu. He's running some kind of railroad production, construction, I should say. And sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been working 2 jobs today. Can you see these bags underneath my eyes? That's what I get for taking ashwagandha. Deep coma type of sleep. Just ask my son. He doesn't want to wake up in the morning. And then I go straight for the energy drink. It's like It's like crack cocaine or doing speed or something. But anyways, I should talk about this movie, Shanghai Noon. I've just been rambling for 10 minutes about this, that, and the other. Swept Away, Ballistic X versus Sever, the two infamous films of 2002. Just 2 years after this film. Well, it's an hour and 50 minutes. It's way too long. And the jokes are lame. I didn't laugh a single time in this movie. Jackie Chan is following Lucy Liu around. He takes her favorite book, wants to bring it back to her. Lucy Liu is working on the railroad, helping out her people. She tells the trader guy that he's enslaving them, and he starts to make sense. He says that they're free to go at any time. I thought slavery was outlawed earlier than that, but I could be wrong. Could be some Chinese slavery going on. Who knows? It's all very corny and geared towards the 5-year-old. I think PG-13. It should be PG-5. The scene that got my son's attention is when they're drinking alcohol, playing drinking games in the bathtub. I don't know why my son keeps talking about alcohol and drugs, but it's probably a hot topic in his middle school. I know it was when I was in junior high. But anyways, so Jackie Chan is trying to find Lucy Liu. He bumps into what's his name? Owen Wilson. The reluctant outlaw, or the incompetent outlaw, I should say. Owen Wilson's trying to rob a train. So it's got that Western feel to it. Somehow Chinese people in a Western, I don't know. It seems like they're trying to be politically correct, or diversity is the goal here, with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson together, with a bunch of other Chinese people in it, and a white woman playing a Indian wife, or native wife, I should say. Pardon me. Don't ban my video because I said Indian. Indigenous people. So Jackie Chan gets attacked by these aggressive Indians. I mean, native people. I mean, indigenous people. And ends up saving this girl. I don't know why she's being attacked. I guess she's getting ready to be raped or something. She's like 10 years old. And she actually looks like a native, unlike Jackie Chan's wife in this. So so Jackie Chan becomes a hero. He starts smoking the peace pipe. And he sleeps in the teepee with the white native wife. Notice I did say Indian, like it says on IMDb. It says Indian wife. But and they use that term in this movie, Indian, a lot. So there's that, and pretty much the wife, he lets Jackie Chan go off and do his thing. But she's always coming to the rescue when he's in the hot spot. Which is pretty cool, I guess. There's also a deleted scene where she's naked off camera going skinny dipping, and Owen Wilson starts scoping her out because he's the only one who could see her. The camera's pointed to her back, but he's pointed to her front. Anyways, kind of a love triangle going on there. And so there's these three other Imperial Guards who are not in the film for the most part. One of them's the Rongguang part of my Chinese. That dude is one of the other Imperial Guards, and they're supposed to bring gold ransom so that they can get the princess back. But she doesn't want to go back to China. She wants to be with her people, working on the railroad, which doesn't make sense. But Jackie Chan is Jackie Chan. He can do anything. Lucy Liu is Lucy Liu. She can do anything. It's a movie after all. You have to suspend disbelief, right? Am I right? And that's pretty much the movie. Roy O'Bannon, Owen Wilson character, his gang buries him. All you can see is his head in the dirt, and he uses chopsticks to dig his way out, supposedly. And you don't see too much of them in this one. I think they cut out a bunch of scenes. They even had a character by the name of Bulldog Drummond, which is a great serial from the 30s, I think. Bulldog Drummond. You had the 1929 film. And then there was a serial. Oh, okay. I haven't seen any Bulldog Drummond, but there are a ton of movies. They're like thinking of somebody else. There are 26 Bulldog Drummond movies, and none of them are on Netflix. What a bummer. Anyways, I could probably find them on YouTube. They're probably public domain by now, just by virtue of them being so old and black and white. But did I cover everything for Shanghai New? Well, yeah, Lucy Liu is yummy. Did I say that already? I think this is only the second movie that I seen her in. Neither one did she get naked, but she looked pretty good in that leather outfit. You know, Ballistic X versus Sever. She looked dang good. And they even made a video game after that movie. X versus Sever. Interesting. A Game Boy Advance first-person shooter. X vs. Sever was released in 2001, 10 months before the film premiered. Unlike the film, the game received very positive reviews and a score of 9 out of 10 on IGN. The game was considered an impressive technological feat on the Game Boy Advance. A sequel game, Ballistic X vs. Sever, was released 6 days before the film's premiere. It is based on its final cut that was released to theaters. Oh, so the video game is more popular than the movie. All right. Well, I'm going to take a coma nap for about 5 hours. No more than that. Probably 6.5 hours, which is pretty decent. I only worked 4 hours and 45 minutes tonight. They give me a little itty bitty route in San Francisco, 19 stops. My last stop at Daly City. Fortunately, I had a mix-up. I mixed up the squash for one customer with a case of beer for another customer. So I had to go back and deliver the case of beer, and they answered the door, and the guy was super nice. And he wasn't wearing a mask, which is cool. I like it when customers don't wear a mask and they don't apologize. Oh, I'm not covering my face. Anyways, that guy was cool. He was understanding. And, the other lady did get her squash, but anyways, not a productive night. I would have ended at 8 o'clock had it not been for that missed case of beer. So could have been worse. Like 30 minutes worse. But I get to sleep a little longer. And hopefully this weekend I'll get some better hours. I'm hoping these dispatchers are really bad on weekdays. Or maybe it's just the routes are really bad. Saturday is my only opportunity to put in 11 or 12 hours, roughly. Double overtime. So I'll let you go. I've been rambling for 23 minutes now. Laters.